Donald Trump called me late last night from Nevada to congratulate me on the debate. That really meant the world to me. It truly did. Some people think I won. From where I sat, Donald Trump won the debate. Donald Trump's vision to make America great again won the debate.
And Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, said it was the best vice presidential debate performance ever. That's what he said today. Some new polls out today. One in Monmouth, a Monmouth poll, Monmouth University in Ohio, shows Hillary Clinton with a slight lead, although within the margin of error there in Ohio. That is down from 4 to 2. 44-42. And then if you look at our average, same position as we've been showing you. This is average of recent polls that Fox considers legitimate, and that is where it stands as of tonight. Let's bring in our panel. Charles Hurt, political columnist for The Washington Times. Mara Liasson, national political correspondent of National Public Radio. And Jonah Goldberg, senior editor at National Review. Okay, Mara, fallout from the debate, and what does it mean?
That's the real question. What does it mean? Pence won the debate. I think that was pretty clear. He was smoother. He didn't take the bait. Tim Kaine came in with a clear strategy to mention every outrageous thing Donald Trump has ever said and try to force Mike Pence to defend it, and he didn't. So Pence won the debate. Now, what does that mean for the race itself? I think probably very little. I don't see a vice presidential debate really shifting the dynamic, but he reassured a lot of Republicans, Pence did, who were feeling pretty bad after Donald Trump's performance in the first debate, and he teed up Trump nicely, I think, for the next debate. And Trump is working harder and preparing more for that one.
Charlie.
And hopefully Donald Trump will learn a few lessons from his understudy in that debate. But I thought that you know, Tim Kaine had his moments. He was able to get a lot of you know, we did spend a lot of the debate listening to them talk about the accusations that have been leveled against Donald Trump. So in that respect, you know, I think that people have gone a little bit overboard about how badly he did. But the other thing that sort of struck me was the degree to which you know, he tried to take this you know, even their the Hillary Clinton and the administration's foreign policy failures, and tried to kind of sort of turn it around to being somehow Donald Trump's fault for not paying his taxes in 1995. It kind of strained credulity at times, and that does a real disservice to a guy that has a bright future ahead of him in politics, and has a sort of a reputation for being a nonpartisan truth speaker.
So the people, you know, the whispers here in Washington about Mike Pence 2020 after that performance last night, and that somehow he's, you know, coalescing that's really where the Republicans should be. For Donald Trump, he said this was my first hire, and it shows I had good judgment.
Yeah, well, and that's a great spin for him to do, because it was a good performance. It was a broad-shouldered performance, one might even say. And I agree with Mara. It was. I may even agree with Donald Trump that it was the best vice presidential debate performance in history. But that's also sort of like saying the best Oktoberfest in Orlando. It's saying something, but it's not saying a lot.
I know we could find an Oktoberfest in Orlando that's pretty good.
It's pretty good for Orlando. Vice presidential debates don't do much, and I think that one of the reasons why Pence did not forthrightly take the bait and defend Donald Trump on a lot of those accusations is that there aren't a lot of good defenses for some of that stuff, and that's not a conversation he wants to have. But also, if he is thinking about 2020, he doesn't want videotape existing 4 years from now where he's defending some of this stuff when the conventional wisdom or the zeitgeist has changed in a unpleasant way.
What he did was he pivoted, and that is not what Donald Trump did that first debate. This is Governor Scott Walker was his debate opponent in the mock debates that Governor Pence had. Governor Walker playing the role of Senator Kaine, and he was asked about some of those answers that Pence had today.
By denying that Trump said things that he said, didn't he kind of create an alternate reality version of Donald Trump?
No, I think Mike's point in all this was that the context was different than what Senator Kaine was saying. That certainly, for example, with Putin, we've talked about this many times before, he doesn't admire Putin for being a leader. He was just pointing out how weak he thought President Obama's leadership was. And so I think his point was not that he didn't say those exact things, but that Senator Kaine repeatedly was selectively taking things out of context.
By the way, Senator Kaine just moments ago speaking to reporters saying last night got a little feisty. He said he's been getting dinged for interrupting, including even by his wife. And so there you have it. Is this going to have any repercussions down the road?
I think the biggest repercussions is for Mike Pence's future political ambitions. He did himself a lot of good. There were some people who thought he was running for president last night and Tim Kaine was running for vice president. But as Jonah said, didn't take the bait, didn't try to defend Donald Trump. There were even reports that Donald Trump didn't like that. But although today he said he was pretty they denied it, and he said he was happy with it. But I think Mike Pence came out of this with his ambitions intact. And it's not a small thing to be able to run as Donald Trump's running mate without getting totally tied to every controversial thing that Donald Trump has
quickly,
said.
because I want to turn on.
Well, I just think it's interesting that, obviously Mike Pence did sort of deflect and change the subject on a lot of these things, and he did a pretty effective job at it. But the other thing that he talked about is he talked about how polished what a politician Tim Kaine is and what Hillary Clinton is. And of course, the perfect political answer to a flubbed debate performance is to say, yeah, people said I'm getting dinged because I interrupted too much, including for my wife. Perfect political pitch, and that's not what you're going to get from the Donald Trump campaign.